Hi, my name is Jolie Pena, and I am a business coach, among other things. And if you're watching this, first of all, thank you. And know that this is my very first YouTube video. So, not new to videos per se, new to this platform. And I just intend this video to be an introduction to my channel as a whole. And specifically, what I want to talk about here is just a different way to think about business that I found very helpful, like a reframing of that concept, different than maybe what a lot of us grew up hearing or thinking or feeling about business. So I think I'll start there, which is usually what's associated right after you hear business is making money, right? So it's that part of the equation. How much money is the business pulling in? What is, the annual sales? And, I'm thinking in America, at least, there's this game called Monopoly. And, it's about buying real estate and you win by having the most money. That is a game, but that is how it's often presented. And honestly, that was never very appealing to me growing up. I like money. I think, my relationship with money is complicated and it's evolved a lot over the years, but I recognize that it's necessary and, it gives you options and all kinds of things about money. But the idea of going into business primarily and above all to make money was never very appealing. And, the other way I like to think about after starting several businesses and running several businesses now, over the years, one way that I often, or one tool I have is coming back and just simplifying and going to this equation. So I find the equation being, okay, what is a business at its core, right? And this is really helpful if you're starting a business or if like your business feels like it has kind of become unmanageable, or there's all this, there's a lot of ways it can easily get complicated. So what I come back to a lot is, okay, a business is, or being in business or having a business is just an energy exchange. So at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, to be in business, you need to either have a product or a service to offer that then somebody will be able to pay you for. And again, that might be obvious, but we overcomplicate it, especially if we're having, trouble getting started. I just like to take a step back and I just launched a business recently with a partner. And this business is a co-working business and a practitioner space. But I had to remind myself a couple times when things were getting more complicated is like, okay, what is this equation? We're offering a beautiful place to work with Wi-Fi and coffee, and we need a way for them to pay us for that. Ultimately, that's the most important thing. And then you can build from there. But I think it's interesting that the part that's almost always focused on is the getting the money part and not about the offering part and the value that you're providing. One way I like to think about it is, work being, and this could be being self-employed or running a business or working for somebody else, but to think about work as being your gift to the world. Work is an opportunity for you to share your inherent gifts when, in a best case scenario. Now, we don't always get to use all of our gifts at every job. We may not love every aspect of every bit of work, but so that brings me a lot of comfort. It gives me purpose. One phrase that came to me recently is purpose first, profit second. I actually think it's profits might be further even down than that. But if you have your purpose right, and if you're in alignment, and if you love what you're offering, and then you have a way to then receive for that, that's 90% of the battle. So I'm curious to hear what you think about it, that if you find that helpful. I think that there's a lot more women that need to be in business, I think, or they're underrepresented. There are a lot of marginalized groups. And we're in this time, I'm recording this right now in June 2021. I keep referring to it as this, golden age of business models, meaning there's so many different ways to set up a business, to structure that exchange. It's really, really exciting. There's less barriers to getting started and to experimenting and to evolving your business models and trying things out without sometimes just very little, upfront capital from yourself. So, and a lot of free educational platforms. So yeah, it's there's a lot of trials and things we're sorting through as humans right now, and countries and communities. And there's also a lot of reason to have hope, and there's a lot of opportunity for things to shift quickly. So, that is a lot of what I'm going to hope to share on these channels. I have done some entrepreneur workshops. I, also small groups to help people either support each other or learn the basics. And I found in the last workshop I gave that, a lot of the initial advice I give to other entrepreneurs, also a lot of people are not always comfortable calling themselves that. I sometimes am, sometimes I'm not. But a lot of the advice I would give, starting out, 90% of it is the same, or I see a lot of similar branding issues that could be easily fixed. And so some of my initial videos, and I'm going to try to post one about once a week, will be about those things. Just very specific, sorry to use a tired phrase, but low-hanging fruit on like how to get a favicon on your browser tab if you have a website, or just how to get a business checking account, and be official, and why that's important, and all those kind of things. So, and then also tackling some of the more, I don't know if I mentioned this, because this is actually, okay, full disclosure, this is not the first time I recorded this first YouTube video. I started yesterday on a tripod in this beautiful office, the co-working space that I work out of. And I just didn't feel right at the end of the day. So here I am in my car, which is sometimes where I can think best and where I feel most, close to my true self. So I've got the steering wheel right here, and it's, this is not the best shot video ever, but yeah, just trying it again. And so going back to, I don't know what I mentioned in this particular video, because I've done several versions of it. I don't think I mentioned that the other work I do besides business coaching, everything, the common thread is helping other people tune into their own internal guidance system. So your intuition, your inner knowing, whatever you want to call it, right? And I'm really, this is something I've been studying intentionally for a long time, and it's one of those things that I think it's actually very much tied to entrepreneurship, actually, because when you are running your own business and there's not somebody telling you what to do at every step, there's all these decisions to be made. You are forced to make these decisions. And a lot of times, you end up honing that craft of following your gut or your heart or whatever you call it. And it's very useful. Or a lot of times you have to go against conventional wisdom or what other people are telling you. That's a common thread in a lot of successful, we can dive into that word too. That's a very loaded word, but a lot of entrepreneurs that have been doing it a long time. So we're also going to explore just very practical ways to increase those abilities, right? Decision making from an intuitive perspective, figuring out, if it's a good fit with a partnership or a customer, using, kind of unseen things. So, and also very left brain stuff. So here is the introduction to the channel. Thank you so much for listening. Always welcome our ideas for other videos, things that you might find interesting that you'd want to explore. And we're off. Here we go. Thank you.